Hey, this is Ryan on Speaking to the Darkness. Kind of noticing a theme. Whenever, I'm outside of Walgreens right now. I was gonna grab a quick, I don't know, I was gonna grab a snack before bed, but it's closed before closing hours. So I'm just sitting out in your parking lot around like 9, 10 p.m. On a Sunday night, and I noticed a theme where I kind of just I go back to when I'm more down. I like to do this, record this. But I've been really down lately. And I don't. I'm doing this. I'm something I've always had a pet peeve about is when someone talks about something and someone doesn't understand it, or it's a little too dark, or your emotions in the right place. Someone's like, "Are you okay? All this, like, you need help, blah, 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 blah." And it's not really ever helpful. Just because if you did want to help, you'd just ask. You wouldn't ask the questions, You wouldn't ask about asking, you just ask it. And I'm not, so my long story short, I'm just not attention. I just want to be honest. I think this world sometimes lacks transparency. And a lot of my issues, I lack transparency. Especially on the action side of things. I think the last episode I said I was gonna go and, write, you know, write something on Reddit about making a writing group, and I told myself I wasn't going to waffle on it, and I did, and I waffled on it, and I haven't done it. And then I did the thing I do sometimes, which is I just get really obsessed with numbers. I or like data, like I just like whenever I'm playing a video game, I'll play, like, for example, this game called Teamfight Tactics, and I'll just be able to, I'll hit this like we'll just call it hyperfixation, hyper focus state, where I just know there's emotional issues and I just ignore everything else and I just play the game. And I, it's not like, and yeah, sorry, I'm just a little bit all over the place. My thoughts are always a little bit more disjointed after I do something that I don't like. I feel like I betray myself. I focus on numbers and then can't really speak words after. I have like a slight headache. Like, it's very hard for me to grasp words, specific words or things. My vocabulary gets very generic. I notice this. I can't recall a lot either. Um, it's probably it's a very depressed state, to be honest. I and I mean, and in some of those dark places, I think, man, I just love to get a relationship before I die, and then I'm like, oh, you're gonna die anyways. What's it matter? And I just get in that state of apathy that I know is terrible for me. And honestly, to get out of the apathy, I just gotta honor myself. I gotta just write that writing group thing, but there's so much pressure on it, and it's such a simple thing to do. But doing something for myself is just so fucking difficult. Kind of want to cry thinking about it. I don't. Wish I could. I wish I cried more. Like, trying to feel the emotions, I've heard people say that, and I just... Maybe I'll get a tear streaming down my cheek occasionally, but not like I don't even know what the fuck is crying. That probably sounds so... So yeah, honoring myself. I think the obvious steps for me are just like going back, taking a shower, shaving. It's not like I smell bad or anything, but I probably don't smell great either. Like, I could go around public and no one's gonna notice. That's a really high standard there. Let me see if I smell my armpit. Yeah, there's something there. So yeah, probably shower. I haven't showered since Friday and it's Sunday now, so might be helpful, and shave. And then probably read. I would go back to maybe my books from childhood and make me feel better. Started reading Goblet of Fire yesterday, just to do something different. It was nice. I remember when I'd read those books underneath my bed covers with the bed light or whatever, those little clip lights you put on the books that your parents wouldn't see the lights on in your bedroom. Maybe I'm a little bit nostalgic for that. I usually demonize nostalgia, but it doesn't do a lot of good for you. It just makes you hold on to something all the tighter. But yeah, I mean, when someone's more depressed, this is what it's like. Being male, middle class, and white. Just something inside me that just says I'm so fucking unlovable, all this stuff, all the vitriol, you've heard it a million times. And I just don't have to listen to it. And I could act. But it's so loud at the same time. It's so hard to want things for it's not hard to want things for yourself. It's hard to act on them. Like starting your own business or starting actions that is completely you diving into the deep end, no one else. The risk is yours. That's fucking devilishly hard. My God. I have so much respect for that. Those people who do that, they're heroes. Most don't. I'm not a hero in my own eyes. That may be harsh, but it's true. If I just took some steps, there's an actionable plan here, right? As much as I'm like go with the flow guy, the actionable plan is just shower, I shave, read, maybe I type something up about the writing group, and then I can start edit. I can finish my novella fucking finally, that I'm also fucking pushing off because I'm also pushing that on every little action. I'm stressing myself out to high hell. My God. I think of my roommate who ADHD, or my old roommate who had ADHD meds and all this stuff, just drank like 2 Red Bulls a day and would pass out occasionally from like heart issues. And I'm like, my head, I was like, you have seizures too. And I was like, this guy's not making it past 40, like legitimately. And I've been noticing like slight chest pains lately, and it's not been helped by the caffeine. I've been drinking the like 3 sodas I've been drinking a day. Just have a can of Diet Dr. Pepper, have a couple more, and you get the caffeine flowing. And I'm sure it's no different than a couple cups of coffee based on caffeine content, but you start getting a headache too. It's another thing I want to stop. There's a lot of things I want to do and I don't do them. And then I get upset at myself, and then it builds because I keep not doing it and I keep avoiding the smallest things, and I get really angry at myself, and then I go into hyperfixation focus state to avoid anything to do with myself, and I come out angrier and even less thoughtful than I was before. And then I come out and I reflect. And I'm really just saying what I've already reflected on. I'm not actually doing any reflecting. I'm not in the space to do that. My head doesn't. Maybe like consciously reflect on my thought. There's just a difference. And I don't want to explain the difference. It's like sometimes I just don't want to explain the difference. I could, but I don't. I don't want to use words. So don't. I think I am a terrible I don't want to be moralized. I don't want to be told I'm not a terrible person. I'm a good person. I don't want to fall into that dichotomy. Yeah, I do. I always do. Good or bad person is irrelevant. How can you objectify something that doesn't have an object? How can you objectify the mind? You can the body, but not the mind. What's invisible? I'm gonna die. We're all gonna die. There's some morbidity. I'm sure I really cheered some people up. Like 99% of people would be just switch the conversation, or I mean, no one wants to talk to a person like this. That's why most people keep this bottle up and just walk around, and then you have your pseudonyms and your catchphrases like "Another Day in Paradise." Yeah, say you're depressed without saying you're depressed. I'll feel better at some point. I'll break out of it. But I'm also not hopeful right now. Both of these things can be true. Oh, cheers to being 30. Cheers. I'm breaking free, soaring. I don't even really want to talk about this, so I wonder why. And then I wonder why I even want to record this and post this. Because I don't want to talk about these deeply painful. I don't even feel the need to share it. So why am I doing it? And then I think I should end it right here and I should go and do something. Not like, you know what I mean, just like, yeah. I should do something. Because I don't feel like any part of me recording this is actively giving anything to the world. Maybe an unfiltered opinion. You know, it's like the third, this might be, if I don't do it, this is like the third one I haven't. I did one on Charlie Kirk. I don't know if the world needs to hear any more hate on the subject. There's enough opinions out there on that. I think the last thing the world needs is another opinion on him. Another strong opinion. Whipped around. That's what our society is. People are. You know, I've talked through my experience some, and I've noticed a markedly better shift in my mind state already. It's odd, though the memory hasn't quite. I can feel there's still like this thin film over a lot of my thoughts. It's very hard once I think, or once I've gone to this point that I can think clearly again. So what can I do tonight? How can I get my mind back? Because I'm kind of upset because I got it back last night and then I went and gamed. So today, after watching some sports and talking with my brother, I think shower, shave, read, and then I'm gonna read some more Harry Potter. I want to feel like a kid again. You know, and I'm kind of feeling that right now as my legs start bouncing and I get some movement back. Maybe, and now I can just shift this process of showing this to people in a different way. Like, I feel like I'm giving something now. How does that even work? How does your mood even shift like that fast? I really think it is just talking over experience, and when you talk over experience, it's like why, you know, the outcome of talk therapy is, the best outcome is just going, not necessarily the modality or the type of treatment, just going and talking your experience through. It's not necessarily the answer or how the advice they give, it's just talking, not keeping it inside. That's all it is. And there's the money issues. I gotta wait for that that. Give that a week and then okay. I think maybe because I can't do a lot right now, just set small goals for myself each day. I'm not J.K. Rowling or Brandon Sanderson or any other writer. I'm me. And I think my big goal tonight is just to shower and shave. That's my big goal. Tomorrow, it's just to write that thing in Reddit. That's it. Anything else is cake. Of course, I'm making plans on top of that, but I'm not going to force myself, and I'm not going to judge myself. I need to hit the task though, the task today and the task tomorrow. I still will judge myself if I don't hit those. I do have standards. I do want to live by standards. I need to give myself lines to draw myself by, give myself how to work and how to process things and ways to view the world. I need my lines. I need my lines of governance. It's a beautiful night. I wish it wasn't shifting from summer to fall. Summer felt so fast. I think this summer I acted the least out on doing things outside the summer I ever have. I think I'm going to change that next year. I need to make small steps to change that. Any of this. I need to be honest about what I can and can't do sometimes. I need to stop always giving myself quotas and when I don't live by them, ending my own fucking world. Sorry, I'm just a little animated in my leg. I'm sure you can hear my leg. That annoys me when other people do that and they bounce their leg and you're trying to focus on something and then you're like, then you do it yourself. So much of this shit that really annoys you, you do yourself. Of course, because it reminds me of yourself and things you don't like about yourself, yada, yada, yada. But, and maybe I want to watch a little bit Expedition 33, finish. I don't really like playing single-player video games that much. I just find the story super enjoyable a lot of the time. I just find the gameplay pretty boring to me because it's all computerized. It's all a lot of just pattern memorization. And when I play like competitive type games, the patterns are less predictable. Because there's people on the other end, like TFT or League. But also, the negative side is these competitive games are addicting because it's like this idea that you can control your environment, control everything. And really what it says to me is you're trying to control yourself, dominate yourself, right? Your environment. You'll try and, control and dominate it. Yourself, really, because it's like a self-mastery thing. And it's how, like, competitive games can be addictive, right? And then, of course, you'll inevitably, if you play it too much, you're too addicted, you'll inevitably have thing where you'll just play a lot worse than you normally would because you're self-sabotaging unconsciously, which is very common in gambling addicts, actually. And they'll go way into debt because it reinforces their self-esteem. And I'm not here to reinforce my self-esteem. No, you're not, Leahy. No, you're fucking not. Who the fuck reinforces their self-esteem? Okay. Self-esteem, what the fuck even is that anyway? That's another fucking catchphrase in pop culture that I'm like, okay, you gotta use it anyways. And it's just like, just go around Just be weird. I mean, it's hard when you talk with friends and none of them are really that weird. You're the weird friend. I wish I wasn't the weird friend. Mine come online. Quite fine. Just rhyming simple things. Okay. Okay. A good little pussycat. Yes, I am. Okay, that's enough. I'm gonna go shower. You know what? I think I will upload this one. Maybe I'll upload the other two at some point too. One of them's very, very dark. Not dark. Not that dark's bad, but like, I just wallow and that's it. I don't want to just wallow, so I don't think I'll upload that one. Maybe at some point I'll upload my thoughts when I reacted to Charlie Kirk at some point, but that's not for now. That's not for now. He's dead. Got him, coach. Okay, I'm just gonna end it. Okay, I'll talk to you later.